Hi, I'm Amar. I'm a pediatrician working in Ministry of Health, but I'm here representing the National Early Childhood Intervention Council. This is an organization that was started in 2006 and it's a coalition of many NGOs in the country, currently about 30 non-governmental organizations, all dealing with early childhood intervention with a view to get together to try and be advocates for services for children in the preschool area. Of course, when I say children, I mean children with disability. I think children's rights are basic. They're fundamental. They're not something that we need to even actually be considering. There should be something that's, if I use the Malay word, asas, it's something that's just, but in reality it's not happening. Quite often children don't get the rights that they deserve. The rights whether in education or in healthcare or in poverty reduction. So I think it's a basic right that every human being should have. And one day I hope we won't talk about children's rights or women's rights, we just talk about the rights of all human beings. But right now we have compartmentalized in different areas. So I think children's rights are basic. If we want children to survive, to do well, to move forward, we need the basic rights. And there are segments of children who don't get their rights. And one of those are children with disabilities. I think the right that I like to talk most about is the one of children with disabilities. And it's not just one right that they have. I think their rights are in the Convention for Rights of Children, the UN Convention for Rights of Children. There are a number of locations, for example, non-discrimination, the right to health care, the right to education. But there's a specific article that deals also with the fact that children with disabilities should get the care, the services they need. So I think it's an important area because we know that about 10 to 15% of all children have some form of disability. So it's not a small proportion of our population. So I think that we need to recognize who the children are and ensure their rights are there for them. Well, I think parents are primary. Quite often we look to care providers or government as people who should enshrine these rights. And I think governments have a role to enshrine it in terms of the structure and the service they provide. But I think parents are the one who can flesh out these rights in reality in a day-to-day for their children. For example, if you're a parent and you see another parent who's got a child with disability, you actually could help your own child recognize that this is a child with special needs and we should be sympathetic to them and empathetic towards them and support them. So I think parents can operationalize the rights in a day-to-day basis. But parents have a bigger role, I think. Parents also have a role to fight for the rights of the children, not just empathize with other people who have needs, but if their own child has got needs, I think they are the ones who often champion their child's needs. Almost all the major changes that happen in our world for disability needs have been happened by individual parents or families coming forward and advocating or fighting for the rights of their children. So I think parents have a very big role in making these rights real. And if you can see, I've got a badge on my chest which says make the right real. I think parents have that ability to take what is real and make it right in our society. Just for their personal children, but the spin-off is for many other children, not just their child alone. Oh, that's a tall order, huh? To say something about that. I have so many hopes and aspirations for children in Malaysia. I hope that there's an end to poverty, which is something that plagues our country despite our wealth. I hope that no child will be discriminated against, which is another problem. Many children are discriminated. I hope that no culture or religion or language or bias will affect our children and they can feel as one in our country, not segmented by narrow, broken down walls. But I think if you ask me, because we're talking about disability, I think that my wish would be that we stop looking at ourselves as disabled or abled, and we look at ourselves as people with different needs. Some have, I think everybody's got special needs, whether you're disabled or not. We've all got needs, and I think if we could aspire as a country to meet the needs of every child, that would be wonderful. Instead of building the tallest building or the tallest flagpole or chasing after material needs, we instead chase after our children's needs. People often talk of our children as our future, but I like to think of our children as our treasure, not so much our future. They are our present treasure, and I think if we can view it that way and see how we can encourage this treasure to become real. Children are hidden resources. We just need to know how to unblossom them to make them real. And I think if all the effort and energy of parents, governments, non-government organizations, private sector could be used to blossom children this way, it would be wonderful. And I think no disabled child will feel left out and everybody would feel included. And so that's my wish, that we have an inclusive society, that everybody actually will be accepted rather than partially excluded or rejected. I think an inclusive Malaysia is what we're looking for.